Hey guys, so today is all about viral marketing. I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can go viral in your niche. Now, we're not talking about getting millions and millions and millions of visitors, that kind of viral. We're talking about niche viral. So I've been behind quite a few viral campaigns over the last 20 years or something. So when it comes to generating viral traffic, I've got quite a lot of experience, but I don't really expect anyone to be able to just instantly go viral on command, because it doesn't really work like that. To get that kind of level of traffic takes a lot of work. It actually takes months and months worth of planning and hard work, and then there's no guarantee that you will go viral. So instead, what I'm going to give you is 6 ways, 6 steps that you can use to create a level of virality in your niche. I think that's a lot more realistic than just saying, oh yeah, do this, do that, and then you're going to get millions of visitors. It won't work like that. So let's be realistic. So I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can go viral in your niche. So the first one is to know your audience. And in particular, you need to know 2 things. So the first one that you need to know is your audience's aspirational group. And then you need to know the dissociative group. This sounds complicated, right? I'll make it really simple. So your aspirational group, that is the group that your audience aspires to belong to. The dissociative group is the group that they don't want to belong to, the group that they dislike. So if you imagine, a really good example of this was the Get a Mac campaign from Apple in the early 2000s. So they had this advert where you had 2 guys. One was a really stuffy computer geek type guy, and then this other chap, he was like this laid back cool guy, and the stuffy computer geek, he was a Windows user, a Microsoft user, and the cool guy was a Mac user. So it created this interesting dynamic between an aspirational group and a dissociative group. So it appealed to a younger audience to say, if you're hip and cool, you will own a Mac. If you're old and stuffy, then you're going to own a Windows machine. And that's a really good example of how a big corporation used the aspirational group and the dissociative group to create this interesting dynamic and increase their sales too. So that's the first tip. The second one is to use a pattern interrupt. Let me show you an example of that. So what is a pattern interrupt? Is just a way to grab your visitors' attention. So let's say people are scrolling through Facebook, and what do we do on Facebook? Of course, we scroll until something interrupts that pattern. So here's an example of an advert that achieved that really well. Let me drag this in. Hopefully you can see that. So this is an advert by Single Grain, and they've done a couple of things here. So the first thing is, instead of just showing a normal image, they've managed to blur out this screenshot. So that creates a level of intrigue and curiosity, and they've also asked a question. So that's a really powerful technique to stop someone from scrolling because it's unexpected. So that's number 2. Use a pattern interrupt. There's lots of ways to use pattern interrupts. If you're a member of the Vault, you'll know that I have a whole series on psychological techniques that you can use, and we delve into pattern interrupts in there too. So if you're a Vault member, go ahead, check out that stuff. Also, we can use words and phrases to create an emotional trigger. And if we create an emotional trigger, then we're going to increase the chance of that piece of content being shared. Because why do people share content on social media? It's because they've been triggered to feel something. And they share it because they want their friends and the family to share that emotion too. So they want people to feel what they feel. So if you can make people feel something with your content, you increase the likelihood that they will share it. Let me show you something. So this is a chart of the emotions that make content go viral. So have a look at this. So the top 25% is awe. If you can create a sense of awe around your content, people are going to share it. Then the next best emotion to trigger, let me make sure you can actually see this, is laughter at 17%, and then amusement is 15%, joy 14%, anger 6%. I'm not actually too sure about this because in my experience, anger and creating controversial content is really effective, but still 6% according to that. Empathy 6%, and then the lesser amounts of viral content have surprise and sadness. So awe, laughter, amusement, joy, anger, empathy, surprise, sadness. So if you can make your content trigger those emotions, you will increase the chance that it will be spread and go viral in your niche. Now let me tell you something about the amount of traffic in every niche. It varies. Okay, so some niches have got a wider reach, a bigger audience than others. So for example, digital marketing, internet marketing, I know from experience these niches are smaller compared to maybe something like football, which has got widespread appeal. So no matter what you do in terms of content and viral marketing, have that in the back of your mind. So there is a maximum limit that your content can reach. There's a maximum number of people your content will reach, depending on your niche. Not all niches are created equally. So with that in mind, the fourth tip, I think we're on 4, is if you can use video. If you can't use video, then use images. We tend to respond better to visual stimuli. So if we can create, I don't know, if we can create, you'll notice that a lot of viral content is video. I mean, let me show you something. So here's an example from Burger King. Oops. So they created this video about net neutrality. So it's a little bit old now, but it was still a really effective viral campaign from Burger King. So what they did was that they took a video, they took an issue, and then they created a video around that issue through the lens or through the perception of their business, and they made it relevant to their business. And I'm not going to play the video for you because I don't want to incur a copyright strike or anything like that. Very cautious about that on my YouTube channel and on the podcast too. But if you Google Whopper net neutrality, you will find this video from Burger King. So that's a really effective way of engaging, capturing the imagination of their audience and promoting their message too. So if you can create video that takes an issue that a lot of people are concerned about in your niche, look at it through the lens or the prism or the perception of your business and put it into different terms. So if you can explain something in a new way, then people will have that sense of awe, and they probably want to start sharing that with people. So they share that emotion. And of course, in order to do that, you have to make sure that the content is easy to share. Thankfully, if you're posting on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, we have those tools already built in. We have share buttons. But if you're publishing on your blog, maybe you're using a WordPress blog, well, you want to go for some plugins. So go to wordpress.org, type in share buttons, and you're going to get a whole heap of free plugins that you can install on your website that will give you share buttons. So that will allow people to share your content across social media. And a lot of these are free. Some of them have got premium upgrades. I'm not going to recommend anyone in particular, but who knows, your theme, your WordPress theme itself might already have those share buttons installed by default. So if it doesn't have that, then go to the WordPress website, have a look at the free plugins and install them. So your content is easy to share. And then the sixth tip that I've got for you is to promote it to niche influencers. And this does not mean spamming them with your link. We want to avoid that. So how do we promote it to niche influencers? Well, just like anything else, we need to establish a connection with them first. The best way to do that is to get on their radar so they recognize your name. So comment on their blog posts, share their stuff on social media, tag them in things that you think they will be interested in that you have not created. So be of service, some level of service. And I don't mean work for free or any of that stuff. Just get on their radar, comment on their stuff, share their stuff, get them to recognize your name, and then they will be more receptive to your message because they'll recognize your name, they're warm to you. It's just like anything else. If we approach anyone cold, we're not going to really get a great response. But if we approach them warm them up a little bit, then we're going to increase the chances. So there are 6 steps that you can use to help your content go viral in your niche. But this is just the beginning. So if you go to profitcopilot.com/traffic, you're going to learn how to drive lots of highly targeted traffic and backlinks to your website for free. So that's profitcopilot.com/traffic. And if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up below, subscribe to the channel too, hit that little notification bell so you never miss an update from me, and I will hopefully see you again in a couple of days' time. Thanks for watching, guys.